What we're doing is a male lead that resonates with the African American Black community. We're doing it in Harlem. We filmed in Harlem. It's a complex storyline that covers a lot of bases. It is something that people can relate to because it feels modern, it feels now, it feels immediate. And so we're basically making a great complex drama that just about anybody can watch. He's a little reluctant. He's not trying to get the attention. He's not trying to save the world. He's not trying to be more than he is. He's trying to basically sit back and see what the community needs, and he's trying to address it. The problem is he has these abilities, and people want him to use them for good. He knows that when he does that, it attracts attention, and with every action, there's an opposite and equal reaction, and there will be collateral damage. So Luke Cage is very cognizant of that, and so he's always thinking about what's best for the community, and he's not always willing to raise his fist and fight, because it's not always the answer. So he wants to use his head sometimes. The music is a lot of original music scored by Adrian Young and Ali Shaheed Muhammad. They basically took a lot of scenes. They got a chance to watch some of the stuff beforehand, and they were able to tailor the music to help to fulfill the emotional through line of the series, and that's something that is very important. First and foremost, it's just a drama that I think will stand the test of time, and it will be something that people can look at. And regardless if you're familiar with Luke Cage, whether you are a superhero fan, you can watch it and walk away from it going, that's not the first thing that jumps out at me. You know, the first thing that should jump out at you is that it's a complex drama with character-driven plot lines that you get into, and every once in a while you're reminded that the lead character has special abilities.
We are in Harlem, New York City for the Luke Cage premiere, which is coming out on Friday. I'm so excited. Every single character that we come across in the Marvel world, they kind of have their domain, you know. So Daredevil's in, Hell's Kitchen. We shot the same thing with Jessica Jones. Though it was all shot like in the Lower East Side, but we actually got to shoot here in Harlem, which is Luke Cage's home. And I think that's really important because it changes the tone, the energy, the look, the landscape, and so it makes sense that you have to explore these different characters in their worlds. Luke Cage is someone who, that's not who he always was, when you get to find that out. And, he's gotten these powers in a very unusual way, and no one knows about it. And no one needs to know about it. And, he could kind of keep them to himself, but the issues that are plaguing his community force him to come out of his comfort zone and do something. When you talk about Harlem and you talk about hip-hop in New York, this was the voice that came out of the city streets to really talk about the issues and the dilemmas and the struggles that people were going through. To have that be a part of it just gives so much more of the exposition, that rather than a scene that you have to do, just put that song in there and people are transported and they know exactly what you're going for.
Harlem is the second lead on this show. It's Mike Colter, then it's Harlem, then it's the rest of us. With just Luke Cage being in Harlem, like all these superhero characters all have abilities, but there's something about him being in Harlem, the things that concern him. Race is a very real part of this, and in that some of the things that he is fighting for and that he's about have very much to do with him being an African American, So, but what's wonderful is that you will kind of see a guy who is really a reflection of the people of Harlem. The series as a whole, we're pointing the camera at a segment of our population that doesn't get featured in that same way, and especially in the superhero genre. The music is a character in the piece, and it's something that kind of curates the project sonically, and I think in some way it deepens all the characters.
What's interesting about Luke Cage is that he is the reluctant hero. He has no desire to kind of step into the fore. But it's also interesting that he's this man with all of this strength and this brawn, but he's also sensitive and intelligent and well-read and just very keen on what's going on and where he comes from. Yes, we have the action sequences. Episode 104 is outstanding. But I think it's also a show for music lovers, people who love jazz and hip-hop and blues and R&B. And it's just a great story for people who want to see good drama on TV. And it's also got its lighthearted moments. It is really an all-encompassing show. I can't say that we've ever seen a show like this with its own score and its own soundtrack. I think that our musical directors took such fine attention when it came to creating the soundtrack for this show. It gives it a feel that's all its own. We're the first superhero show with a predominantly black cast, and it's not just black, it's brown. It's not just men, it's women. We play around with gender. We see a lot of strong female characters on screen, and I think that it's important during a time when TV is changing, movies are changing, and I feel like we're right on the floor of it.
He is, like most of us, reluctant to step forward, reluctant to put our gifts into motion. And so I think people are going to really relate to him. If you do Street Level Heroes, you're going to have the dilemmas that people are working on the streets. But I think people are going to be inspired when they see him sort of come out of his shell and say, okay, I can help this, I got to step up. Whatever you like, if you just want to bob your head, if you want to see somebody kick the doors in, if you love a great narrative with drama and comedy, suspense, whether you're 10 or 75, you're going to want to binge it more than once.
He's not wearing fancy, crazy costumes, not doing anything. He's just whooping butt on the regular, and it's cool, and it's important, and it's beautiful, and it's New York, and it's hip hop, and it's life. It's everything. The biggest mistake people make is thinking this is a superhero show. I don't mean that to take away from superheroes. What I'm saying is if that's what you think this is, you're in for a tremendous surprise. It's absolutely not a superhero show. It has elements of it. This is a show about culture, about life, about people, about community, about family. We truly, really love each other, and we like being around each other because we just have fun. Come on, we're on a Marvel Netflix show. It's like the best of what's going on right now.
It's really an honor to, debut a show like this here because it has just, special significance. That's really the whole thing was about bringing Marvel powers and bringing shine to Harlem. So it's really exciting to be here, honestly. The best superhero tales are good stories. And so for us, we kind of see this as kind of a hip-hop blaxploitation Western, if that makes any sense. With Harlem's Paradise being the saloon, in this case, Mahershala Ali being kind of as Cornell Cottonmouth Stokes, being, the kind of twisted saloon owner who controls the town. And in this case, with Mike Colter playing Luke Cage, he really is our man of mystery with the past coming into town to eventually clean things up. So you see a lot of classic motifs, but at the same time, it feels new. Ali Shaheed Muhammad and Adrian Young, did our score. And the score itself is incredible, but we also have incredible performances because we have Faith Evans, Rafael Sadiq, Jadena, the Delphonics.
Cheo, the showrunner, I've had a long relationship with him from the hip hop community and knowing his importance, his voice as a journalist, his voice as a writer. We knew that he was going to bring the right touch to the character, and we just wanted to be able to lend ourselves to that voice.
This was a statement piece, and we felt like this connects us with the lineage of the prolific black artists that scored great things, like a Curtis Mayfield, like a Isaac Hayes, and we just wanted to take advantage of this opportunity and help make this thing as, the best it could be. We used music to accentuate what Theo Coker, the showrunner, the creator, wanted to do. He wanted to have a show that had the nucleus of hip-hop, which encompasses the break, jazz, funk, soul, everything.